Parliament they resume tomorrow, and Parliament is on a clock. 9 more sittings, the APC MPs could lose their seats, but possible say by that time they will still be on the negotiation table. So what could be the ramifications of that? Good morning, Melvin.
Good morning to you and to Fambule.
All right, so this is it. Here we are now. Finally, the government and the opposition APC are starting a conversation today on so many things we then feel say not go right to the election. What do you feel say APC and SLPP go to put on the table as bargaining chips, as pointers to discuss?
Well, I suspect on the side of the APC, then go still want for cling onto the issue of publication of station results as Pande Ali and protest.
And the EU report supports them on that as well.
And that's the other thing. The timeliness of the EU report itself just corroborates. So somebody will ask whether was it sensitive enough for let the EU publish this report now that negotiation, because no matter what you say, the EU report already don't give the opposition a leverage in their argument. So how will that play out in the process? It's an interesting watch. But of course, on the side of the SLPP too, it's very difficult, or the government of Sierra Leone, what they will be putting forward. Will they be publishing the results, or if not, what other bargaining chip will be advanced? So it's quite a dicey situation for the two sides. Time is not different for the APC, but of course, looking at the waiting President Biodon call coercive diplomatic measures coming out from America, also time the clock the tick for the government. So we hope that the interest of Sierra Leone will come first, but it's going to be a very difficult negotiation. Looking at the events that we don't pass under the bridge, and how you bring the water in the back, almost impossible and situation. For interesting, last night we see a leaked document purported to be signed by the Secretary General of the APC saying that they've agreed to participate. Which was quite shocking, and quickly we see the publicity secretary and we talk to one or two members of parliament, ranking members of the APC bench, we say that is not true. And I begin to ask, what could be the reason behind this purported document?
And you think as well, why is it go on the table that on that subject of participation, it could be one of the things where government go put for on the table, say, when I come into governance, when I can participate. But then there is a catch there. If they also put it on the table, they will also look desperate as well.
Both sides are coming in basically desperate. They are being forced by situation and time, and things not to play out in the favor of nobody. So they are coming in desperate. But that's why you need trained and skilled negotiators and mediators in this one. Of course, the non-participation tactics being used by the opposition APC, so far it don't work. Because if not only work, nobody see U.S. ambassador and they already intervene and things like that.
But how long do you think they can play that card?
That's the thing. Because if, again, it's so critical, because if they continue for boycott or abstain from governance, and for example for parliament, the time they run out, and how it will affect the negotiation, well, we're not expecting the negotiation for long based on the timeline announced, or if there are sticking points we're not able to fix, how it will affect perhaps the remaining sitting will elapse and everything will happen. So a lot for give, a lot for take, but definitely these are political issues. But anything other than the elections results, participation, and other perhaps secondary issues, it would be a surprise.
And one of the things as well, I mean, a lot of these issues really now ECSL, they are the protagonists in this story, and they should be on that table, while because much of the problem with APC gets now to ECSL. But as well, government has been very careful for always disassociating themselves from ECSL, say no, we not mix by ECSL business. ECSL is an autonomous body or independent body, if you may put it that way, which is a very clever strategy. So assuming we end on that point as well, where they say una publish the disaggregated results, government will say we are not bound to do so. Now ECSL bound for do that if the law permits them.
Well, then that would be one of the biggest sticky points, because that has been the government position. And now, how the government of Sierra Leone negotiates with the APC, who then are the people from the government of Sierra Leone end? It's quite important for we know them, the teams, and it's good that also the event is coming up and we ever see the team, because there is no way the government can divorce itself from ECSL. ECSL is part of the government of Sierra Leone, so the people already part of the delegation. I would be surprised if somebody not come up from ECSL where they represent government. I would be surprised if somebody not come up from
PPRC,
the Department of Justice. I would be surprised, So the government here is wide ranging. I would be surprised if the chief minister is not there. I would be surprised if the president is not seated there. So it's going to be quite an interesting. I would be shocked if they able to reach a conclusion or a resolution in the time frame set. These are very serious issues, and therefore carefully sort them in the interest of the public. Of course, everybody wants political normalcy, but again, it's the norm now in West Africa that we have people using democracy for subvert the will of the people. That is the ideological argument here.
And one of the things as well, we therefore be very critical as well. I know say at some point government will have to give concession in terms of some of the things and we APC get for ask for. But how much concession can you really give without breaking the law? Because when it comes to issues now like the sitting, we have 9 sitting left for MPs, APC MPs in Parliament. We're done in at the law. So can you now say, let's say assume say then they're on the table and that 9 sitting they're done. Can you say we're not going to remove them in the interest of the goodwill of this conversation? So it's going to be a dicey situation, and that's why it's important for of course the Department of Justice have we judiciary and themselves for participating in that conversation.
Of course, and I would suspect that looking at there was a visit by the ambassador to Parliament and with the Speaker. Perhaps the Speaker will be part of this conversation, and I would advise the government make them not put some part of the conversation because it's already compromised and prejudiced. That not means say somebody from the parliament get angry for come, even if it's technocrat or somebody else from a legislative standpoint. But again, the law not like us, not like are you rider. And let me not forget, not so all theory legal, legitimate. I can always say this. Apartheid in South Africa was legal, but that's not make it morally legitimate. ECSL's argument that the law does not permit them to do such is countered by the same APC. So let's see, the best lawyers enough to go argue that the law still for doing or not say for doing. So that is, again, it go back to the Justice Ministry and the representatives that will get for Dede. I suspect perhaps some technocrat at the office they go Dede in the presence of Solicitor General or somebody else or the Attorney General. Although insect you can't real negotiation, of course, in position will be very clear. It's quite serious, and I hope that we, the media and the press, will take a very open-minded look at the whole process, and then we'll give you access to parts of the process. Of course, certain negotiations, we know in this case, they're going to be done
behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors, but there should be a protocol wherein after every closed doors, we will able to get at least an ambushing moment as journalists for ask 1-2 questions as to where we did. Because if not, then we'll continue for full week. Like 3 months ago, where man say negotiation they on the way, then they negotiate mediation. People that don't come here go meet and fooling the public. So this time we need full communication around it. But definitely on that issue on the law, the law now we use that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right.